Thank you. Thank you. Margie and Mike love each other. Margie's 41. Mike is 17. He met Margie when he was 15. So a 39-year-old woman meets a 15-year-old boy and falls in love. All right. And Margie is going to jail for 6 months. Come on. They're in love. They mutually decided that they loved each other and wanted to get married, and you busybodies come along and boo this. You actually want her to do time? No. Margie, you were home alone, and the door, there was a knock on the door, you go to the door, and there he was, right?
Right.
What was he doing at your house?
He had come over to visit my son, and my son wasn't home, and he just, I think he might have noticed maybe my artwork, my loom, and...
Yeah, well, I came over, and, you know, I knew Amos from school.
Amos, her son, who was a year older than you, I think.
You're younger than me.
I'm sorry, you're younger than you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We should say they are married. They got married. So he has a stepson who's a year older. You're younger.
You're younger.
You're younger. Go ahead. So you come in, and first of all, she's a nice lady.
Oh, she was just warm and charming. So I just introduced myself, kind of came right up, and she was just sitting there smiling like she is right now, just all cozy like that.
Yeah.
And hey, and well, I was actually paranoid that day. I was having this weird thing about my head being shaped funny, so I was asking all these questions. We came in, talking about art. We just, you know, really hit it off, and...
You hit it off?
Yeah, we talked about art, we talked about literature, we talked about politics, we talked about environment.
And you're not your basic Donna Reed, you know, you're kind of a bohemian artist, and he liked that in you. No insults here.
Right.
This is nice.
Exactly.
And, you know, you're a little bit... You always were a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Yeah.
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 So there you were, two kind of different people, and you find you have a lot in common.
Definitely.
So you talk and you talk.
Right. And
You were not in love with him that day.
No.
And you weren't in love with her.
No, I was very much attracted to her,
You were.
but not in love.
15 years old. You're attracted. She's 39.
That's the thing. The fact that she was so much older than I, we didn't think, oh, you know, there's no risk of a relationship here. We're not going to get involved because there's this age difference. Oh, this is safe. We can interact. There's no risk of a relationship in that happening. So we just, you know, went ahead with it, and
That's
we were
how
wrong.
we analyzed it later, that
Okay.
we probably opened up more because there was no tension there.
Anyway, as the days went by, you kept coming over to see her son. His son is Amos, did you say?
Right.
So you and Amos are pals.
Yeah.
So you're calling up, too, right?
Yeah.
On the phone. And you're calling up to talk to Amos, but as these calls and the days go by, you find yourself talking more to Amos's mother than you do to Amos.
Right.
You are also visiting over there frequently, so? Oh, well, it's not an investigation. Just don't worry about that. This audience wants to know, when did this... You already have a question? Wait a minute. A very important question.
I saw
What
that
is
woman
the
today
important
get off the cab.
Where is Amos's father?
And mother?
The
Well,
mother is here. Does he have a husband?
15 years and divorced.
15... what?
You didn't say that.
Yes, this is a complaint you're offering against me. I come here every day trying to do the best I can. Now, what was the distance between the time frame, Margie and Mike, between the first visit there when she's an artist and she's showing you her paintings and you guys find that you really can talk about a lot of things, and the day that you moved and he was helping you? How long was that time span?
I think about 6 to 8 months, somewhere in there.
6 months.
So 6 to 8 months transpired without a kiss?
Exactly.
Oh, that's encouraging. And all the time you knew you really liked her.
Right?
There was a moment, was there not, on the phone when you're both kind of crossed the line and expressed some serious endearments to each other? Was there not such a phone call?
There was such a phone call. We were talking, and I just very casually told her I loved her, and she very casually told me that she loved me, but we didn't really talk about what that meant, and
That was
we
the
just
end of the
hung up.
conversation.
Right, that was it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So then you're moving, and you want help with the moving. You still haven't kissed him, have you?
Wake up, dear.
Maybe you had. If you had, you can say so.
Well, I'm just trying to think from where you came. Okay, that was in...
You certainly must remember the first time you kissed him. I
Right.
will never forget the
Right,
first
we
time.
had kissed before that,
Yeah,
yes.
that was
Oh,
the
sure.
phone.
Yeah, well, see what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
we
only-
had
it was
kissed
with the-
before
it's
that.
I'm getting better, aren't I, with this? Yes. So you did kiss. Did you kiss in the car? Did you kiss where?
Well, what happened was, I started, we had this great friendship, and we had it for quite a long time, and this is a really long, involved story.
Well,
They
please
moved to
don't.
and I cut it to the chase. I had to tell him how I felt, and I didn't want to risk the friendship, and you know how you can kind of tell if somebody's interested in you? I didn't know, I had that feeling about him, but the age difference, yes.
Basically I was in town. I had just moved with my family. I got to town, I called her on the phone, said, hey, we need to talk. Next day, got in the car, we talked, we kissed, and that was it. And that's when we decided, hey, we're gonna have a relationship here.
That's in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. Margie, I was thrilled to hear him say he felt the same thing.
Right.
Love for you.
Right. I told him how I felt, and I didn't want to ruin the friendship and
Right.
not to feel embarrassed, but I had to get my feelings out, and if he didn't feel that way, that's fine, but, I'd like to keep the friendship going.
But I was worried that this was going to be a problem because I was 40 and he was 16. That was the first time we kissed.
Right.
And you must have said, holy cow, we can't do this.
We did. We said that right after we kissed. We go, oh, my
What are we
God.
doing? Are we insane?
Yeah.
To which we replied, yes.
Then how many weeks later did you help him move? Did you help her move?
That was within like a week, I think. A week,
No,
2 weeks.
2 months.
2 months.
Yes.
That was about in
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
And
Did your mother know about this along this time?
No, she didn't.
She had no idea. She thought you were dealing with Amos, her
Right.
son. So you help her move, and you're supposed to be home by 10 o'clock, are you not? That's true,
no,
isn't it?
no, that's not true at all.
No, wait a minute. You said yes.
No.
Well, there was a time span involved. It wasn't 10 o'clock, but they wanted me back the same day.
Fine, yes.
They were out of town. Okay, they
Right.
were from another town, and they brought Michael to the town we were living in and dropped him off.
So he could knock
That's
around with
right.
Amos and also that he could help you move.
Exactly.
But what you did, you sent Amos to his father's house or to somewhere else, didn't you?
That's the only thing I did throughout this whole process I will admit that was underhanded. I sent, because we wanted time together. We wanted to spend time. We hadn't seen each other. It was all on letters and on the phone.
Right. But you seem defensive about this. Is this because this was part of the trial or it's part of the charge against you? Is that?
No, I just feel,
You feel a
in
little bit
retrospect,
duplicitous about it. Okay, but in any event, you're alone in the house. He's helping you move, right?
Right.
And you wound up in the bathtub together.
But we'd rather not discuss what we did.
No, you don't have to, but that was...
We had already before that time had been, it wasn't like from that point to that point to the bathtub. We already were definitely committed to the relationship and to each other.
Okay,
We
so
had
you...
It wasn't like we just all of a sudden decided.
So that wasn't your first intimate encounter then, shall we say? Put it this way.
Right.
I see.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Oh,
myself.
okay. All right, fine. Now you got to tell your mom.
No, I don't have to tell her, but she did put me on the spot, and eventually did get me to confess.
And she locked you up.
Yeah. As soon as... yeah, the next day, after the moving experience, we went back to Wausau, and we waited outside my parents' house, and they just kind of locked up the house and stared at us from the window, and eventually the cops came and took us away, and we were questioned, and I was thrown in the shelter home for a while.
While you were in the bathtub, there was a knock on the door. Isn't that so?
Yes.
I heard the doorbell ring once.
Yeah. And you had to assume that that was his mother.
We didn't know. We looked out the window and nobody was there, and
You had to be scared to death now.
and actually to this point we don't know if the police were out there or they were out there, because she had called the police and reported Michael as
A runaway.
and his life was in danger.
Yeah.
But what's so ironic about that is, as soon as Michael did show up, and if his life was so endangered, why did she throw him in a shelter home and not, find out what the problem was?
In any event, the night that he helped you move, he spent the entire night there. He didn't go back to his parents. And then
We
the
drove
next
back
day,
the
the
next-
cops were waiting, right?
Right.
And you are sent to a juvenile lockup situation, isn't that so?
Well, it's not a lockup situation, but yeah, it's just a little containment center where kids go and rot for a while.
Your mother was hysterical, isn't that? That's not an overstatement, is it?
No, that's an understatement.
And she wants to keep you from this 40-year-old woman who is, I assume, feels deflowering you and ruining your life.
Oh, right. I don't know if I can expand on that much, but yeah, she definitely wanted to keep us apart at any cost. I mean, she was just fanatic about it.
Finally, she apparently surrendered to the reality of your relationship, so?
Yes and no. She kept the prosecution going, yet she signed the consent form for marriage.
Uh-huh. She also obliged you to sign a contract, did she not?
She did.
A contract which obliges you to change your name,
Right.
so you are no longer identified with this family.
Right.
A contract which disallows you from seeing any member of your family, immediate family, or relatives. Is
Right.
that
Or
so?
speaking to them on the phone.
And is it also true that you have to be a certain distance in miles away from?
50 miles away from them at any given moment.
You have, and you have also been then excluded legally from any assets that might be owned by anybody in the family, and to which you might at some future date be legally entitled.
Right.
And he wasn't even entitled to his own belongings. She wouldn't let him take anything. He left with nothing.
I entered this marriage with a shirt and a pair of pants, basically. That's what I came in with.
And when was the last time you talked to your mother?
There's a restraining order.
Yeah, there's a restraining order, but I think it was probably last spring sometime.
Do you feel sorry for her?
No, I don't. Well,
Tell him why we don't
I felt
feel
sorry at
for him.
first. I mean, I definitely felt, I knew where she was coming from, but the fact that she's been pressing this so far, she's tried to get three counties to prosecute her. She's been
Lying.
vehemently attacking Margie, lying about her, spreading rumors about her. After a while, I'm not so sympathetic for her cause because she's just too fanatic about it. And
Well, and I just wanted to say that, I understand the anger. I completely understand the anger, and just to take it as it is. But what she did was she told the DA and the police that I had a background of this, which was a complete lie, which we have proven that was a lie. And she's made up all kinds
You're
of...
a terrible woman, and she wants everybody to know that, and you've overwhelmed her son at a time in his life when he's too young to really understand what's going on.
She said I was in a cult. I was the leader of the cult. I gave Michael drugs. I was a pedophile. I had bought him a box to put the letters in. Just on and on, these lies. She told the DA that Michael and I went to Canada. Just outrageous things.
You've now been married for 7 months, and unless there's some kind of intervention here, you are due to go to jail next April for 6 months. Is that so?
Right.
You are due to go to jail because the state is apparently saying, among other things, what if this had been reversed? What if the man is 40 and the woman is 15? Now we want to get the posse, the rope, and the tree limb.
That's not true, though. That's a stereotype because my attorney and that's what the judge said was part of his sentencing, because he said if you were a male, this is what you would get. Well, in fact, we got a hold of information from at least 4 counties, including Marathon County, and the fact is not that males, actually, I was sentenced way more severely, and in fact, there was a 42-year-old woman in the same county with a 16-year-old male who brought prosecution against a woman, and she received 18 months probation.
Did you know his mother prior to this relationship?
No.
Is there a background between the two of you?
No.
Right.
No?
So, but you are now living together as a happily married couple, and you live with your son, Amos.
Right.
1 year younger than your husband. And you're happy.
Yeah, it's a great family setting.
And if you...
Okay,
if-
except for the age disparity.
Yeah,
that's
except for the
problem.
age disparity. And if you have to do time, you have to do time. You think it's unfair, but you're going to do it.
Right.
In a moment, we'll meet Raylene Pettit and Jason Kaufman. Raylene hired Jason to babysit when he was 14. And they got to talking. I'm telling you, don't let your son out of the house. And you liked him right away, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked him, but I was skeptical of him.
But he also
Being
said
a male
things to you
baby.
that, you know, he told you you really looked nice, and in a way that you made you believe that he meant it. Yeah. And then he taught you how to hunt.
Yeah.
And then what? Do I understand? When you teach somebody how to hunt, don't you have to go like this?
Yeah.
Well, is this when it all began?
Not the first time.
But while he was doing this, didn't he give you a kiss when he was doing it?
Yeah, one time he did. Then it proceeded.
You weren't in the woods or anything.
Yeah.
You weren't. Mm-hmm. We'll be back. You can make your inquiries of both these couples. Incidentally, these are happily married people. Oh,
We're not
no,
married.
you're not married. You're going to marry when he gets out of high school. And he gets out of high school in December of '94, right?
Right,
So you have to wait almost a year for him to get out of high school before you're going to marry him.
right,
You have no doubt you're going to marry him.
right.
We'll be back to let you ask your questions in just a moment.
Burlington Coat Factory has thousands of coats, not hundreds, thousands.
Jackets, raincoats, leathers, the best labels.
I saw the same coat at the mall yesterday.
Oh, look at these low prices.
I know, how do they do it?
Why go anyplace else? I wouldn't.
I got it at the factory, Burlington Coat Factory. They're more than great coats.
Laura Glenn is being dragged down by a tough cold, but she's about to break free with an effervescent rush of relief. Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Pills take time to dissolve, but Alka-Seltzer Plus is ready the moment you take it, rushing powerful medicines to soothe your aches, relieve your runny nose, free your breathing. Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus.
This year, we received a beautiful portrait from our son Roger and his family.
This year, Roger did his shopping at Expressly Portraits.
He must have really planned ahead.
Nope, at Expressly Portraits, it only takes about an hour.
Must have cost him a fortune.
Expressly Portraits' holiday special is only $9.95.
He's so thoughtful. I can't wait to tell his sister.
Oops, Roger sent her one, too. For appointments at a mall near you, call 1-800-709-6000.
They're the pop stars who keep you dancing.
Whitney, George Michael,
The movie stars you watch romancing.
Tom Cruise, Sean Connery,
Together for one special hour.
and your MC Marie.
It's an exciting award show that'll make you look twice.
Even Bill and Hillary.
Celebrity lookalikes on the next Maury.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like to say it seems like the mom was noble when she started out, but she's done gone overboard and
Overboard? She loved him?
Well, she's done lost her son by what she's tried to do. I mean, she's run him out of the state, run him out of the county or whatever.
Well, wait a minute now. Let's not mix up our couples here. Raylene and Jason, when we last left you, you were in the woods hunting. Incidentally, you hired Jason to babysit.
Yes, I did.
$1.50 an hour.
Right. How's it going then?
And how long then after the first time you hired him did you think, you know, this is certainly more interesting than this is serious?
It was 6 months.
So over 6 months, first of all, you were very impressed with the way he handled your son. It's a son.
Yeah.
You liked that. It was unusual for this 15-year-old male to be so good at that.
Yeah, well, I've always had female babysitters, and female babysitters were always, you know, what you usually hire. I'd never had a male babysitter.
And you were wondering if a 15-year-old boy is going to be able to do this.
Right.
And you were impressed with not only could he do it, he did it better than some of the women that you had.
That's right.
And then you started talking, huh?
Right.
And when did you first kiss him, Raylene? We want to know about these kisses, don't we? I mean, you know, why am I here if not to get this kind of information? Tell us, Raylene.
Well, we were in the woods, and he was teaching me how to hunt, and that's when he kissed me, I kissed him back.
Mm-hmm.
And
this was a whole. And incidentally, you weren't divorced yet, were you?
No.
Were you? Another suspicious New York audience. I don't know where we get them. What's the matter? Yes.
I was just wondering, both women have sons, how they would feel if their sons turned around and did something like this.
I'd be open-minded. I'd be very open-minded about it. If my son really loves somebody that's older, he can go for it. I mean, hey, you got to be open-minded about it. This is the 90s.
Yeah, sure. I've been asked that before, and my answer is, like she said, with the love, but it's just like if it was a female or male. As long as you love somebody, it's fine, but don't cut off, you know, if they continue school, they continue their future, they continue education, and all that. You know, if they drop out of school, I have a problem with it.
Margie, your identification on the screen says convicted of molesting a 15-year-old boy.
No.
16?
It's a misdemeanor, 948.
A C felony or whatever they call it, or
right.
D?
Having intercourse with a 16 or 17-year-old.
And it's that charge that's going to oblige you to do 6 months next April.
No. I had that charge first, and then they had a warrant out for my arrest, and that was, Michael came to visit me because he was kicked out of the house one day, went to friends to stay for a while, then came and stayed at my place for 6 days, and the police dragged him out, and then they had a warrant out for my arrest because because we had contact, that's bail jumping. So that was another count, and then further down the line, Michael came to my apartment again, and they had another warrant out for my arrest, and that was a second bail jumping. So I had 3 counts. I had the first for 94809, a misdemeanor, and then 2 bail jumping. We had the first 2 dismissed, so actually I was supposedly sentenced for the final bail jumping. But the judge didn't look at it that way when he sentenced me.
When did you... Raylene, when did you realize that this was going to be very, very serious?
Well, when I missed my period.
How old is Jason? Cody. How old is Cody?
He's 17 months.
17 months. We'll meet Cody in just a little bit. I've met Cody. And he is a fine, beautiful young boy.
First of all, I think you both are sick. And why aren't you wearing wedding bands and you're not married?
Why would you say that? Isn't that's not like you to be so mean. You're not usually that way. Both sick, if they're happy, if they're in love, why would you call them names?
Can't they get someone their own age? This one has a beard, makes them look older. Can't you get someone your own age? And why aren't they wearing their wedding bands?
Okay.
And this couple's not married, and are you married?
Yeah. No,
they're not getting married.
Why do you have a wedding band? And this couple doesn't have a wedding band. Are you like trying to hide something? Are you embarrassed?
No.
Are you embarrassed?
Do you want to give us some money? Wedding bands are expensive, number 1. Number 2, I would... No, it's a...
Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second.
Jeez. Number 1, I don't want to buy wedding bands.
This question
when did you get out of charm school? Just curious.
It seems like these 2 young gentlemen are mature enough to make their own decisions. I'm sorry, how old are you?
Well, 17 now. And how old are you, Jason?
17.
17. They were 14 and 15 respectively when they met. Is that right? Yes.
Oh, well, it seems like they're old enough to make their own decisions. I mean, it seems like they're very mature
What would
minded.
you want to say to this young woman who thinks they're sick, and is really mad at them and is calling them names?
Oh,
Would you want your child? Would you want your child? Would you want your child with a woman older than your mother?
I knew someone was going to ask me that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, if my child had a head on their shoulders like these two seem to have, I suppose it wouldn't be too bad.
And we'll be back to entertain all the hands in the air in just a moment.
McCain introduces the ultimate experience for French fry lovers. New McCain Ultimate Spiral Fries. Spicy battered, or with a unique crispy coating, for an earth-shaking crunch and a taste that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Delicious new McCain Ultimate Spirals. Whoa! Experience them for yourself. McCain, the ultimate taste.
Why buy an ordinary sofa when you can buy a Jennifer sofa bed and love seat for just $5.99? As incredible as it sounds, that's both pieces for $5.99 in many luxurious styles and fabrics. That's Jennifer value, with so much seating comfort you'd never believe it's a sofa bed. So why buy an ordinary living room when you can buy a Jennifer living room? Jennifer Convertibles, America's largest sofa bed specialist. With a Jennifer sofa bed, there's always a place to stay.
Don't miss the runaway comedy hit of the year.
Oh, thanks, Coach.
Cool Runnings, rated PG, now playing. And experience the incredible with the movie critics call a fun-filled delight for the whole family.
Eureka!
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, rated PG. And celebrate with the most talked about and critically acclaimed movie of the year.
You make me happy.
The Joy Luck Club, rated R. Each film playing separately. Check newspaper for showtimes.
Sonny Jurgensen is the kind of person that people just feel good being around.
George Michael salutes the greatest field general this town has ever seen.
When he tells his stories, he brings you right onto the field. You feel like you were just his best friend, and he's going to tell you what it was really like. He makes you feel like you were actually a part of it.
George and Sonny relive a time when life was a ball.
This is a 5-part powerhouse presentation about a man opening up with some thoughts that he hasn't shared before.
Tonight at 6 on News 4. Sunny days are here again.
Were you were talking to her during the break? You went out to the audience. Show them the tape, Ryan. I think we've got a tape of it.
They've already kind of paid the price for it.
Michael is an art, and he's next semester making his wedding dance. That's what we've been waiting to do, but he doesn't have metalsmithing until next semester.
Now, what is it you're explaining here?
I'm explaining that Michael was going to be making our wedding bands, but he doesn't have metalsmithing until next semester, and that's why we don't have them yet.
Well, I wonder if she feels any differently now. Love is love. We don't know why it happens. It just happens. And if some guy, 62, comes along and he starts to hold your hand, your father is going to shoot him.
Yes.
Are you there, caller? You wanted to say?
Yeah, I'd like to know how this is my question for Margie.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how a mother could, be friends or associate with this guy after knowing that it's her son's best friend or so-called close friend.
In other words, is she concerned about what this does to her own son?
Yeah.
Margie.
Of course I'm concerned, and we talked to Amos, and what happened was, it's a long story, but the people where Amos and we all live pitted, how can I explain it?
Oh, well, Amos and I were sort of pitted against each other by my relatives and his relatives.
Saying that Michael didn't want to speak to you, he was mad at you, and Amos didn't want to speak to you, he was mad at you. And that was not the truth. They both wanted to talk to each other. Amos has written a letter to the judge expressing the fact that he doesn't want me to go to jail. We all get along. We all live in the same house. Everything's fine. He lives with us. He knows that we love each other. And it's a good relationship, and he accepts it. And he hasn't been left out with the friendship end of it either.
Yes.
I just want to know, Michael, are you supporting your stepson, and do you help with, the money in the house and stuff, or are you just in school?
No, I don't support at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd just like to know, after having a marriage for so long, wasn't it a little frustrating to have to teach a 14-year-old how to, you know, make you a little happy in bed?
Okay, number one, Michael and I didn't have intimacy until we were 16. And another thing I want to clear up that, you know, people...
People what?
People are in long-term marriages. That doesn't mean they have a relationship.
My question is to Michael. I believe you really do love this woman. It sounds very sincere. My concerns would be, as a young person, first of all, you know, what about children? And second of all, you're going to lose her, you know, way before you're ready to. And that's kind of, you know, from a romantic standpoint, kind of hard to think about.
Going to lose her.
She's going to die before him.
She's going to die before him?
No.
That's the old joke, you know, if he dies, he dies. You know.
I'd like to respond to that.
Sure, please do. Yes.
She's in much better health than I am, okay? I'd like to say that forthright. So actually, I don't know how probable that is.
Yeah. Are you there? Are you there, caller? I did that. I'm sorry. Sir, you wanted to ask.
I don't think you are sick people. God bless you, and you must be married. That's it. If you are married, God bless you. If you get married.
Yes. And they're getting married. Yes. You were happy.
Are you funny?
You were happy when she said, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And when the baby, when you finally, when you get married, then you'll change the baby's name.
Right.
To accommodate. Yes.
I'm wondering if you're planning on having children and if you're worried about the fact that it's getting later in your life to have another child if you want one with Michael.
Well, right now, we're both trying to complete our education. We have plans to move out of the country. We have a lot of plans in the making. Yeah, well, you can move out of the country. That's not negative.
Why do you want to move out of the country?
There's a lot of world out there to explore.
So you're just saying you want to move, you're not waiting. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And,
people are running you out, Michael.
Right, and if later down the line, I mean, a baby is not in our picture now, but later down the line, you know, if I can't have a baby, then there's always adoption.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there, caller? You wanted to say?
Hi. Hi, Phil. How are you?
You know, trying to make a living. Yeah.
My question is for the first couple. All I like to say is I do have a son that's 16 years old, and I don't think I would feel the way if he was with an older woman. But if he's happy and when he turned 18 or so and wanted to get married to this woman, I would say more power to them. All I'm looking out is for his happiness. And I wish them nothing but the best in people.
And we'll be back. We got about half the house now for Margie and Mike. Some of you out there just are not ready at all. And we'll find out what's on your mind in just a moment.
When you want a hot meal without a big deal, what are you gonna pick? Hot Pockets. When a hungry bunch shows up for lunch, what are you gonna pick? Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets, filled with delicious pepperoni pizza, chicken and cheddar, or ham and cheese in a crispy pocket.
When it's late at night and you want a tasty bite, what are you gonna pick? Hot Pockets.
The hot meal in a pocket.
What are you gonna pick? Hot Pockets.
Try Lean Pockets, too.
Burlington Coat Factory has thousands of coats, not hundreds, thousands.
Jackets, raincoats, leathers, the best labels.
I saw the same coat at the mall yesterday.
Oh, look at these low prices.
I know, how do they do it?
Why go anyplace else? I wouldn't.
I got it at the factory, Burlington Coat Factory. They're more than great coats.
Critics are calling Malice the sexiest thriller of the year. From the director of Sea of Love, Alec Baldwin, Nicole Kidman, Malice, rated R, at theaters now.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning.
I just got back from Mattress Discounters. I needed a new mattress, and I knew they were having a big sale. Not only on mattresses, but brass beds and day beds, too. I got a Beauty Rest mattress at the best price in town. They also delivered and set up my new bed and took away the old one for free. They even gave me a free bed frame. Price is real important to me, but so are all the extras I got at Mattress Discounters.
Have a good night's sleep on us. Mattress Discounters.
Along came a spider, as many plot twists as The Firm. Terrifying as Silence of the Lambs, a #1 bestseller. Along Came a Spider, finally in paperback.
To be part of the audience, please send a postcard to Donahue Tickets, care of NBC, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, 10112. Remember, postcards only, please. Be sure to include your phone number with the area code.
Let me just mine the gold here. I know you'll be brief. You'll be deferential to all the people who want to get on here. You wanted to say briefly.
How do the women's mothers or families feel about the situation?
Yeah. Pam, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Pam, you are Jason Kaufman's mother.
Right.
You're still shook up, aren't you?
Yeah, some, but I'm getting better with it.
I assume that the baby and the birth of the baby kind of certainly made you feel perhaps an obligation to try and make this work. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, you're right.
Did Raylene come to see you?
Well, we've talked several occasions.
And how did you first learn about the romantic connection between your son and Raylene?
By watching him, and then my son came to me.
And you were what? What did you cry? Did you faint? What did you do?
At first, I was very aggravated, and I wasn't ready for it. I told him he wasn't ready for it, and I had went to welfare about it. And his dad had told me nothing like that would happen, but it did.
But you did, when you say welfare, that's a kind of an indirect way of going to the police, isn't it?
Well, that's who I thought at the time I needed to go to.
And Raylene, you were arrested, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were arrested for child molestation, the Class C felony, which doesn't involve intercourse but groping. Do I understand this?
Excuse me?
Well, there are varying degrees of offense on the matter of molestation and criminally speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. You were arrested when you were 5 months pregnant.
Right.
And did you go voluntary to the courthouse?
Yeah.
Welfare, whatever you went.
Not the welfare police department.
Yeah, you were never put in jail, were you?
No.
But you pled guilty to something. What did you plead guilty to? Didn't you?
For my plea agreement?
Yeah.
That was a Class D.
And the judge rejected your plea, did he not?
Right.
Do I not understand the judge to say, effectively, I can't give a pass to this. If I give a pass to this, the next dirty old man that is intimate with a 15-year-old is going to say, hey, you can't do this to me. You let Raylene go. This is sexist. It's a double standard, etc. To help us sort this out, here is George Lopez. Mr. Lopez, sir, you are chief of the chief prosecutor for Jay County, Indiana.
I'm an attorney that practice in Portland, Jay County, Indiana. I'm a partner in the firm of Hinkle, Raxter, and Lopez. I do special prosecutor work in some of the surrounding counties. I'm chief deputy prosecutor in Jay County, and that's how I got appointed to this particular case.
You believed at the time that you were very prepared to file criminal charges against Raylene, isn't that so?
I was so prepared that, in fact, I did it. When I first received the paperwork from the welfare authorities back in February of 1992, it was pretty clear to me. I noticed the genders were turned around from what they normally are in cases like this, but I was very convinced that, in fact, a crime had been committed and Raylene should be charged. I contacted the family of Jason, and they were upset. His mother says she was aggravated. She was very, very angry. The authorities were pretty upset, and so I filed a Class C felony child molesting charge. Class C felony child molesting basically says when there is sexual intercourse, it is a C felony, which is a higher offense than a D felony. The D felony is just for fondling, and that is what she pled guilty to. As opposed to groping.
So, well, Thank you.
The same thing.
Well, you know, I don't know how, I'm telling you, if it weren't for this program, I'd be stupid. And there are some of our viewers who may wonder how much good it's done me. But we should say that she did consent to the plea bargain, and then the judge rejected it. Meanwhile, you looked at this and you said, this is going to end, this is, you know, they're momentarily, erotically intoxicated, this is going to end. Most of them do. I assume you...
That was one of my first thoughts when I first got the case, and after I filed it, I said, you know, this is a brief infatuation. It'll end in a couple months. We'll proceed with the charge. But then circumstances changed from the time that I got it in February of '92. Originally, when I filed the charge, first of all, I didn't know that she was in fact pregnant. Secondly, as time went on, we gave some time for the child to be born. We had blood tests done to make sure, for myself to be absolutely convinced
certain that this was his baby.
That is correct.
And you confirmed that it was.
I confirmed that it was, and in Indiana it takes some time to do that. So about a year and a half went by. They remained committed to each other. And then with those circumstances, in fact, that a baby had in fact been born, then we proposed a plea agreement to the judge of that county.
Right. We're getting lengthy here. The judge rejected the plea agreement.
The judge rejected the plea agreement.
The judge on the bench is saying, how can I do this? The next guy who fondles an underage child is going to say, why, you can't send me to jail, Judge. You didn't send Rolene. I get it. Then just recently, you made another decision. What was that, George?
I made the decision actually I made it earlier, but last Friday I filed a motion with the judge to dismiss the case against Raylene Pettit.
About half of our New York audience applauds that decision. Who doesn't? You're from Florida and you want to send her to jail? No. Well, who doesn't agree with the decision to dismiss? You don't want to dismiss. What do you want to do with Raylene?
I'd send her to jail.
You would?
Mm-hmm. Of course. I'd like to know if either of these young men have ever dated girls their own age.
Have you had a normal life with a, you know, has your coming of age been reasonably normal?
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
Speaking for myself, I've had plenty of dating experiences, and well, none of them has been quite fulfilling as Margie here because.
Yeah. And we'll be back in just a moment.
All chickens may feel fresh at the store, but they don't all start out feeling that way. I never freeze my chickens, but most of my competitors blast theirs with air that's 40 degrees below zero. So they can start out like this, and the government still lets them call themselves fresh. Well, they can call themselves anything they want, but I'd hate to try this with one of my fresh chickens.
On Saturday? Okay. Have a great day. Bye, honey.
Luis, can we talk for a moment? I am with the president on health care for everyone.
But these details, like the national health care budget, the government sets a ceiling on spending and says, that's it.
But what if there's not enough money? I mean, what happens then?
There's got to be a better way, Libby.
There is a better way to reform. Call this toll-free number for the facts.
I dare you. I dare you to try new big and juicy hot dogs from Oscar Mayer. Just tell me this isn't the most incredible hot dog you ever sink your teeth into. Sure, you've had this kind of flavor at the game, but at home, I don't think so. I know so. Juicy, beefy, bursting with flavor. Tell me these don't make your mouth water. I dare you. I double dare you. I quadruple dare you.
Who, me?
That's my boy.
New big and juicy brand hot dogs from Oscar Mayer. The taste is going over big.
Are your friends messing up your marriage?
I think he needs to get married and find something else to do. When you get married, you want a family.
On the next Sally, should a married man still party with his pals?
It doesn't just go to the next game to go out to bars, and that's why I mind.
Sally says no way.
Why do you need to go to the bar?
Well, because my friend wants me to go.
But if your friend wanted you to jump off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge?
Find out if your friends could ruin your marriage. Next Sally.
For a transcript of Donahue, send $3 to Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Or call 303-831-9000. To order a video cassette for only $24.95, just call 1-800-FOR-VIDEO.
You must. Yes.
Phil, after hearing your show today, I have one regret personally. I never believed in using babysitters.
Oh. And that's a regret.
Were these two young men virgins at the time of these affairs?
Yeah, you know, there's no obligation to answer any question. In the absence of a lawyer, I feel compelled to tell you that.
I have two sons, 14 and 15, and I'll never let them babysit again.
Yeah, what's the matter?
I just wanted to say,
Yes,
sorry.
that's all right.
I just wanted to make a statement that I think that the laws in Indiana are a little antiquated.
Well, the laws in Indiana are not that much different than
The laws in Indiana are very similar to everywhere in the country. I think there needs to be some reform because there needs to be a statutory rape charge, not a charge of child molesting.
Yes.
In response to the statement the lady made over there, I have two boys, 16 and almost 19. If they were my boys up there, they would either have to call me Ms. Bobbitt or Axe Murderer. I'm not sure which.
Yes.
Just a comment to the young boys. These women have stolen the best years of your lives.
Are you there, caller?
Yes.
You wanted to say.
I wanted to say that I think the couple on the left, the lady should go to jail. I think she's sick. She is a child molester. And she has the man looking so old. And the one on the right also.
Now we're getting...
The young men, they look so old. I mean, these old sheep have been out to pasture already. And now they're trying to get these young boys
out to pasture?
Okay, I want to say something.
Wait,
Number one.
yes. First of all, I hope this, you need not be patronized. I'm sure you've taken an awful lot of abuse, so you're getting pretty good at accepting it. But you want to make the point.
Well,
what?
I wanted to just say something about what that woman said. Number one, she said something that I'm sure she didn't mean, that I make or we make the boys. Michael has more freedom now. He can come, he can do what he wants. I'm not in charge of him. If he wants to anything, I'm not in charge of him. We have a totally equal relationship. Right. There's no empowerment struggle. Yes, did you want to say something?
Yes, I was going to say, she does.
Yes, you wanted to say.
She doesn't have me looking old. She doesn't have me thinking like I think, and she doesn't have me speaking like I speak. This
you
is
are
how
who
I am.
you are. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Yes, hi. I have a question for Mike and Margie.
Yeah.
Did Amos at one time think that Mike was just being his friend to get to his mother, and also if it has changed the relationship any between the three of them, how has it changed?
Apparently not.
No, Amos never thought that because he was all...
Amos didn't think that I was being friends with him to get to his mother because I didn't know his mother. I mean, I knew Amos far longer than I knew his mother, so that wasn't an issue.
Yes. Well, let's meet Cody. Come on out here, Cody. Here is Raylene and Jason's child. Hold this for me. Hi there, big guy. Now look at this good looking. Hi, how you doing? I want to show you on TV here. Let me show you. Watch up there. See this? See up here on this TV? Way up there. Up in the sky up there. Look at that. Do you see? This is Cody. And I'll say again, Cody's parents will be married on the occasion of his father's graduation from high school, which will take place in December of next year. Aren't you good looking guys? And we'll be back in just a moment.
Starting this month in magazines across the country, a scientific breakthrough from Vaseline Pharmaceutical Research will be announced. If you're one of 8 million Americans with severely dry skin, look for new Dermacell.
I hate my wimpy toilet bowl cleaner.
Introducing new X14 toilet bowl cleaner with 2 times more chlorine cleaning power of the others. It's new. It's better. It's X14. Look for the money-saving coupon in Sunday's paper. It's good for X14 Blue, too.
To see his kids, I need to be with my children.
Daniel Hillard was ready for anything.
Hello!
Now, ready or not,
1 drop or 2. Would you like another one? Oh, there you go.
Here comes Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, sir, the terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
Robin Williams is Mrs. Doubtfire. A father's work is never done.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
You're going into the men's room.
Rated PG-13. Starts Wednesday, November 24th at theaters everywhere.
You'll always save more at your savings store. That's the Shoppers Food Warehouse way. The value is here, the difference is clear. Quality for less each day.
And warehouse prices like Folgers regular ground coffee, ABC or French roast, 2 for $3. Domino baking sugar, powdered light or dark brown, 2 for 96 cents. And Breyer's ice cream, light ice milk or frozen yogurt, 2 for $5. There's no place like Shoppers, your savings store.
What's next on Springer?
Wouldn't we all give anything to know that a loved one who died is at peace and okay? Well, we'll meet psychics who claim they can talk to the dead. They'll try to comfort a mother who's given up on life after losing her daughter.
She was my only child. Her greatest concern is that you not be frozen or paralyzed.
Yes.
God, please let her come to me. She's with you a lot. She's around you.
Next, Jerry Springer.
To be part of the audience, please send a postcard to Donahue Tickets, care of NBC, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, 10112. Remember, postcards only, please. Be sure to include your phone number with the area code.
Yes, please. Yes.
Well, the only thing that I heard today that sounded horrible was the way this boy's mother treated him. That's the worst thing I heard today.
Yeah.
Margie, I just want to know, would you do it all over again?
Well, I still love Michael today as much as I did when the prosecution began, so I would have to say yes.
Yes.
I think that it's abuse if it's somebody under 17, no matter what. But this is after the effect when we see the relationship developed. But at the time, I think it's wrong.
You'd be upset. But you have to be encouraged, aren't you, by what you see here?
These two guys seem much older. I mean, these two seem like twins on the right, and the little boy is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's abuse under 17.
Yes. You wanted to say briefly, please?
I think these boys have a lot of, they're going to grow up a lot in the future, and what you want now is going to change a lot when you're older.
Yes, it is. That's true, yes.
These people seem mutually in love, and I'm just reminded of Woody Allen's comment, love wants what it wants.
Well, yeah.
I love Woody.
Yeah, that's right in there with Plato, and
I say more power to these women. Get them while they're young so you can train them right from the beginning.
Yes.
I'm dating a younger man. I think it's wonderful.
Well, thank you. You have our congratulations. You'll let us know what's happening. Yes.
Women have been marrying older men for a long time,
yes.
And I see nothing wrong with this. And also, if women could only date younger men, they would have a much larger field to play with.
That's true, they would. Yes, sir, you wanted to say.
Phil, I'd like to hear from the boys what type of career they intend to pursue.
What are your future interests?
Something in art, perhaps printing.
Art, printing, sir?
Auto mechanic. Going to WTI after I graduate.
You're a technical institute, is that right? Look how comfortable you are with your baby child here. That baby is going to be well cared for. You wanted to say.
I'm just shocked that she's going to go to jail, and there's so many crazy people out in the street that really deserve to be in jail, and she's in love. And
yes.
These boys aren't old enough to be a husband until they can support their own family.
Yes.
Oh, I have a comment on that. A lot of people are laid off nowadays.
That's true. That's true. If income were going to be the determinant, a lot of people would be single.
What about statutory rape with you guys? You have a baby. You were under 16. Why'd you drop the charges?
The reason I dropped the charge, basically, Cody is the main reason, because if I pursued it, I really believe that Raylene would have gone to jail, and that would have just victimized Jason again and victimized Cody.
Yes.
I just want to know, what about, in your situation, what about using birth control?
Using birth control, it's a little late to talk about that now. Are you there, caller? Caller, you wanted to say.
I wanted to say that congratulations to the couples on the stage. And second, there's a lot of rebuttal from people in the audience about the situations, and if this was a reversal, how would they feel if it was the older man and a younger woman?
They'd be angrier. They'd be angrier.
I just hope you guys are going to be there when they're 60 and they're walkers and you know.
Yeah, well, you know, we could say that about people who...
Everybody needs calcium.
Everybody needs protein. Everybody needs vitamins and minerals. That's why there's a milk for everybody. Milk, whole, low fat or non-fat. It does a body good. Everybody.
A boxing glove. Shorts? Boxing shorts!
There are games, and then there's Pictionary. Pictionary. It'll bring down the house.
This year, we received a beautiful portrait from our son Roger and his family.
This year, Roger did his shopping at Expressly Portraits.
He must have really planned ahead.
Nope, at Expressly Portraits, it only takes about an hour.
Must have cost him a fortune.
Expressly Portraits' holiday special is only $9.95.
He's so thoughtful. I can't wait to tell his sister.
Oops, Roger sent her one, too. For appointments at a mall near you, call 1-800-709-6000.
Excuse me. Yes, watch yourself, please. Watch yourself. Step aside, please. Watch your... Yes, you, sir. You. Yeah, pardon me. On your left. Yeah, on your left, sir. Excuse me, please. What, am I invisible here or something? Oh, thank you. Yes, on your left. Excuse me. Pardon me, please.
Why is chocolate nuts the coffee that always comes through? Maybe it's the beans.
Oh, great. Now I got to go all the way around. I tell you, it's not my face.
McCain introduces the ultimate experience for French fry lovers. New McCain Ultimate Spiral Fries. Spicy battered, or with a unique crispy coating for an earth-shaking crunch and a taste that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Delicious new McCain Ultimate Spirals. Whoa! Experience them for yourself. McCain, the ultimate taste.
What makes 60 Minutes tick? Find out from the correspondents of television's most popular news show, Next Donahue.
I think we should...
Hang on, yeah, go.
Okay. I think we should give all these people a break. They're all consenting parties. And
let's relax.
That's it.
And if it was an older man and a 16-year-old girl, that'd be all right.
Yeah, if they both consented.
Yes. Do you really want her to do 6 months in jail? You wanted to say quickly.
My question is, where were these kind of mothers when I was babysitting?
Yeah.
I want to know if the prosecutor would have dropped the charges had the older party been a male.
If the older party had been a male, would you have dropped the charges?
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
You want regular cheddar cheese with all that fat, cholesterol, and calories? No. I'm giving you Alpine Lace fat-free because I care how you and you eat.
Here's the perfect gift, a bread machine. Fresh baked bread, just like your mom made with Fleischmann's yeast.
Fleischmann's Yeast, America's favorite. Guest accommodations provided by the Drake Swiss Hotel on Park Avenue, New York's premier address for business or leisure, with guest rooms, suites, and conference rooms for up to 200 people. Call 1-800-DRAKE-NEW YORK and ask about our special packages priced from $150.